friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
A bookworm passed away at 92 and left a 109-page list of every book he ever read. Written by Michaela Gordoni, read by Julie Provost. Dan Pelzer, a 92-year-old bookworm, passed away recently and left a book listing all the titles he'd ever read since 1962. It added up to an impressive number, over 5,000. You could call it a storied legacy. The handwritten list of titles spanned 109 pages. Rather than printing out 109 pages for each person who attended his funeral, Dan's family members uploaded the list on a website called What Dan Read. The man's love of reading began in 1962 when he served in the Peace Corps in Nepal. After discovering a library of about 150 paperbacks, he started documenting every book he read, the obituary reads. Over the next 6 decades, he read more than 5,000 books. While Dan conquered all the classics and read every volume to the end, he much preferred John Grisham to James Joyce, calling Ulysses pure torture, the obituary reads. A few books he read were Flying Colors by C.S. Forrester, Stained Glass by William E. Blakely, True Compass by Edward M. Kennedy, and The Second Mountain by David Brooks. Even more interesting is that all 5,000-plus titles were from the Columbus Metropolitan Library in Ohio. All of his books were Columbus Metropolitan Library books. Nobody loved the library more than Dan, his daughter, Marcy, said. When we were little, he took us to the downtown library every Saturday morning and enrolled us in every summer reading program, Marcy told the library. He was a regular at the Livingston and then Whitehall branches until he could no longer read. I'm sure he would be among your highest circulation and longest-term borrowers. When it got quiet and he picked up a book, all of a sudden I'd be in the South Pacific, Dan said. His family asked that in place of flowers, mourners donate to the Kinship Community Food Center. You could also honor Dan by reading a real page-turner, the family added. It's remarkable that Dan thought of recording all these books, and 5,000 is quite a number. It's a wonderful legacy. His children and grandchildren will always have a source to go to if they want to remember and feel connected to him.
Did you know that the Salvation Army produces a network of podcasts? One of those shows, Words of Life, is a 15-minute weekly show featuring testimonies, interviews, and conversations on topics impacting the church today. Coming up on Words of Life is a 6-week series with author, podcaster, and counselor Dr. Zach Clinton. He joins us for a series focused on encouraging men as we discuss the challenges we face in 2025.
That there's probably well over 35, upwards potentially of 50% specifically of men that would argue and say that they don't have one person in their life that they feel safe enough to open up to or to talk about, in a sense, heartfelt things. That's not just a problem, man. That's a disaster. And it's that recognition that God never promises the absence of pain, but he always promises his presence in the midst of our pain.
Listen to Words of Life wherever you get your podcasts or visit wordsoflifepodcast.org.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Grandma shows incredible compassion for man who took her car then died after crushing it. Written by Mel Johnson, read by Julie Provost. A man beat up a 72-year-old Shirlene Hernandez and then stole Grandma's car at a gas station in San Antonio. But when the woman later found out her attacker died in a wreck following the carjacking, her reaction to the news stunned everyone. Shirlene had a special route. Each day, the 72-year-old stops at the Shell gas station in San Antonio for a Diet Coke. But on one particular day, something awful happened. As Shirlene got out of the vehicle to head inside, a man grabbed her. He hit the poor woman several times in the face and took her car keys. And though several good Samaritans jumped in to help, the man still managed to get away with the grandma's car. Poor Shirlene was beat up after the carjacking, but the man who stole Grandma's car didn't exactly ride off into the sunset. He ended up in a car crash that took his life. But Shirlene didn't react the way most people expected. The news brought the sweet lady no satisfaction at all, and she showed compassion where many wouldn't. There's a lot of people who would say that what goes around comes around, karma, she explained. I did not think that. The only thing I got was really sad because he had died. Some may feel the car thief got what he deserved, and a look at the bruises covering poor Shirlene's face certainly makes it hard to feel any sympathy for the man. But despite his evil actions, this kind lady aimed no ill will at her attacker. Now granted, he had hurt me, but the Lord saw fit to take him out of his misery, she said. Not only did the awful run-in with the carjacker who stole Grandma's car leave Shirlene traumatized, but it also left her without a vehicle. The 72-year-old still works to support herself and her husband, and the incident left her with no transportation to get her to and from her job each day. I realized I don't have a car, Shirlene lamented. I just don't want to quit working, and so I've got to somehow get another car, and that takes money, so I've got to figure out what to do. However, as the news of what happened to Shirlene got out, folks from all over wanted to help. Shirlene's granddaughter started a GoFundMe page, setting a goal of $5,000. However, donations quickly poured in and exceeded the targeted amount. Just a matter of days, the kindness of strangers raised more than $30,000 for the grandma. What a blessing for the 72-year-old woman who went through such a terrible experience. While many would have wished bad on the man who stole the grandma's car, Shirlene reminded us not to combat evil with more evil, but rather to overcome evil with good. Don't seek revenge yourselves, beloved, but give place to God's wrath. For it is written, Vengeance belongs to me, I will repay, said the Lord. Therefore, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him a drink. For in doing so, you will heap coals of fire on his head. Don't be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:19-21.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.